Hey, this is Todd Harris, executive producer of hi-rez Studios.
And this is Chuck Vinson. I'm the art director at hi-rez Studios.
So Global Agenda, first of all, it's an action MMO. So from a gameplay standpoint, we're really trying to combine the action combat of an online multiplayer shooter with the RPG elements of persistent character and even persistent territory control. And in terms of IP, we spent a lot of time introducing some pretty cool science fiction IP. Basically, the character enters the world in the year 2155, and they escape from the clutches of a big, controlling, kind of Orwellian world government called the Commonwealth. And they battle the Commonwealth in some battles against computer-controlled opponents, AI bosses, that sort of thing. But eventually they discover that the real action is the world of player agencies, where they can actually own territory and build facilities and try to conquer the territory of other agencies. There's 4 main character classes. Each one is really distinct, and also you can spec each one a lot of different ways, so we'll just touch on the high level of them. But the 4 are basically assault, medic, recon, robotics. So medic, I played medic today. It's a great class. You stay super active. Obviously it's a support class, but since there's no tab targeting, you're really staying active. You actually have to target your allies when you're applying healing to them. And you can also, we have a lot of unconventional healing devices like heal grenades, so you actually can heal from a distance if you've got good enough aim. And you can spec your medic to go poison and be a dark medic and really cause a lot of damage and be real viable in one-on-one combat as a global agenda medic. So that's a lot of fun to play. Recon, for instance, I played yesterday. So Recon obviously is our stealth class. You can spec that to be a sniper and be doing high DPS from very long range, or you can completely mix it up and be very strong in melee and come out of the shadows as a stealth character and do backstab and extra damage that way. You also have a bunch of deception tools such as decoys you can throw down, mines, bombs to break out the action at the point. So that's a really fun class and one of the more popular classes as well.
I play Assault class and Robotics, which are the other 2 classes mostly. Assault is really great. It's the primary point capturer, heavy weapons. You know, you've got miniguns you can push guys back with. You can configure yourself for heavy explosives, grenades, rockets, that sort of thing. So the Assault guy has 2 roles that he really plays. He can lay down a lot of heavy damage if he's spec'd for that, or he can spec himself to take a lot of heavy fire, shields, or just heavy armor. I prefer to roll with heavy armor and the minigun and push people around the map and taunt them. The Robotics is more the tactical class, which is kind of a little bit the exact opposite. There's a lot of different ways you can configure robotics. There's drones, which are kind of instant pets you can throw out that'll attack anybody that they see. There's a variety of different weapons. You can even configure robotics guy to be kind of run and gun with drones and a shotgun, or you can be very tactical and you know, build kind of, we call them device farms. You know, things that heal people in a radius or buff their power boost in a radius. And turrets are really the huge point control aspect with the robotics. We've really focused on trying to have that option where, okay, I can just sit down and play Global Agenda. I can get into a match relatively quickly. You know, I can play with people of different level ranks to some degree, and you know, you can really kind of get in there and start playing very quickly. But then you also have this really subterranean level of extended depth, which is you know, territory control and those kind of more hardcore things. So the cool thing is you have more casual players and more hardcore players existing in the same universe and actually both participating in the same universe, which to me is really compelling because, you know, like, as someone who, I don't spend as much time playing games as I used to, but you know, I like the thought that I'm still going to be able to participate in the hardcore part when I have time, and I'm just going to be supporting it or just playing casually when I don't have time.
Yeah.
And that's been a really big thing for us, is kind of managing those 2 sides of the scale so that we're not really alienating anybody and everybody can just have fun as dedicated as they want to be or not.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even in terms of our pricing, some of the complaints we've seen from the MMO community, so people that are already invested in being in front of their PC and they love it in front of their PC and they love the games that they can get, but there's a common complaint that more casual MMO players are maybe subsidizing the time of the more hardcore players. And with our pricing scheme, as Chuck said, you can jump in, just play with your friends easily, use built-in voice chat, jump on, play against AI opponents, or even play match-made PvP by jumping in a queue and having a multiplayer match. And that's all very casual and all accessible just by paying your single purchase price. You don't have that obstacle of a subscription that's looming in front of you and, oh, the time investment that's going to come along with it. That's a turnoff to a lot of folks. At the same time, for people that want that depth, there's this whole gameplay of controlling territory. And that is available for a subscription. So we think the gameplay supports both, and the pricing model also supports both.